Welcome back to Apollo Justice. Last time we came up with the revelation that, again, Machi is like, I'm just not going to tell you things. But he's not blind, and he can speak English a little bit. It's not great, but he understands a little, so that's good enough. Anyway, now we're recouping to be like, hey, what's up now? Because you can speak English, even though you've been saying you can't this whole time. Okay. July 10, 11:23 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 2. Apollo Eustace. That's justice. Better learn to say if you ever want to get some. Believe, I know shooting. Machi claims Mr. House was already down on the ground when he entered the room. Maybe it was a trap and he walked right into it? Suddenly, I hear revolver. Close, very close. And then I hear voice. You heard gunshots. Yes, it's true. I hear revolver, but only sound. Wait, you're saying you went to the dressing room and found Mr. House already dead, and then you heard shots. That's true. So, you're at the scene of the crime when you heard those shots. And you escaped through the air vent. I know. Huh? What do you know? I know if by opening vent, I can leave stage and backstage. The vents went both the stage and backstage area. Is that what he means? Hey, he's right. Look, Apollo. Huh. Yeah. But how did he know it was connected like that? Wait, I bet his father was the architect that designed the hall or something. I heard this from a musician. Musician? Don't look at me! Musician, huh? It was for lunch. Come on, guys. Get with it. At least we're clear on one thing. Machi didn't shoot Mr. House. Yeah, but what does that leave us with? We're supposed to say he went into the room to find the body and then he heard the shots? That one's gonna go over well in court. Not. Apollo, you're his defense. You're supposed to believe whatever he says. Even lies. That's what Daddy always told me. I'll almost pretend you misheard him. Every time. So, what do we do? You sure you won't testify, Machi? No talking. No. Well, it was worth a shot. That cocoon. I can't go home. I can't go home. I can't go home to Virginia. I don't know how to go home. The penalty for taking a room for Virginia is death. That's right, it's punishable by death. Of course, he's scared. Oh well, I guess we'll have to try a different approach. That's the spirit, Apollo, so what's your plan? Machi won't testify about it, we'll have to get someone else to testify. Someone else? I think we're out of time. Let's get back in there. Right. July 10th, 11:28 a.m. District Court, Courtroom Number 3. Court is now back in session. Mr. Justice, have you sorted out things with the defendant? Yes, Your Honor. We had a good talk. Very well. So will he testify? Your Honor, the defendant will not testify. What? Shame. I thought it was your big chance to turn the case around. Actually, it is. The defense would like to approach the case from a different angle, Your Honor. A different angle? Much you won't testify, but I know who will. I'd like to cross-examine the witness in this case, Lamiroir. Lamiroir? What are you up to now? I thought we determined yesterday that Lamiroir's testimony is insubstantial. There's nothing you can... Lamiroir was taken to the hospital yesterday with injuries. What happened? She was assaulted, Your Honor. Assaulted? Someone wanted Lamiroir dead. Thankfully, she was able to save herself. What? I heard no such report. Prosecutor Gavin... Why would anyone be out to kill Lamiroir? Can you think of a reason? Well, think of how she is known in our country. A singer from overseas who didn't speak English, yes? Yet someone tried to keep her mouth shut. Who could have that have been? You don't think? I do. It was the same person who shot Mr. House. The killer was afraid of her, afraid of what she might say. The defense believes that something was hidden in her testimony yesterday. Something the killer doesn't want getting out. So understand that this is what you're saying. Namely, that there is a nugget of truth in Lamiroir's testimony. A nugget we have yet to uncover. Exactly. If Lamiroir was attacked, there's a serious implications. Very well. There are some vague points in our testimony during yesterday's trial. Perhaps we don't inquire deeply as we might have into some. Who will hear Lamiroir's testimony once more? Welcome back. Lamiroir, I must apologize. We ask you to stand up again and speak. You need not apologize. I know Matthew's innocent, and I'll do all that I can until the court realizes this. But to your testimony from yesterday, you told us that you heard 2 gunshots and the shooter's voice through the window, and the voice belonged to Darian Crescent, yes? That is correct. With what punch I proved she could not be correct. She couldn't have heard any one of those things. The small window at the scene was closed and going to be quite soundproof. You have nothing to say to that, Mr. Justice. I don't know exactly what yet, but I do know there's something here. There is, it seems, much you do not know. It is my duty to hear him out. Perhaps the witness would be so kind to testify once more to the court. Of course, Your Honor. What I heard... I was on the way from the stage to the backstage exit. That's when I heard of them, Mr. Taus and the detective. I heard the faint sound of a gunshot and stopped, and then heard another gunshot. There was a smell of gunpowder. I knew I must tell someone, but I was in a hurry, so I kept moving past the small window. Pretty much the same as yesterday's testimony. I'm sorry. I'm not used to speaking in this language, as my descriptions are lacking in some way. Yet everything I have said here is the truth. It is my distinct displeasure to say this. What you've said happened is impossible. Do I have to repeat myself? The more of the tactics of this testimony. What? Trucy? Apollo, you know, for a moment there, you're pretty cool. Maybe I do better when I don't try to think ahead. Well, Mr. Justice, perhaps you can coolly examine the perhaps you can cruelly cross-examine the witness. Maybe. Let's see here. Let me just start from the top. There's something wrong. I raise an objection. She's saying the same thing she said before. Mr. Justice. Sorry, it's nothing. Please continue with testimony. Now I know what they mean about reckless use these days. Little Red over there just trying to examine a head judge. The last person should be pointing fingers, Mr. Rockstar. Okay. Jerry Crescent. I did not know his name at the time. But yes, it was him, the one who took the stand yesterday. How times would he just remind you that's impossible? There's no way you could have heard him. Because the window at that scene was closed. Is that why? Of course. Apollo, if we keep asking the same questions yesterday, you won't get anywhere. She's right. Maybe there's a different angle I can try. What were they talking about? More, do you have any chance to remember what they were saying to each other? If so, please tell us. I've given it much reflection, but I was afraid of this. She doesn't remember. I only heard one phrase clearly. A whole phrase? You remember something that was said? Why didn't you say anything yesterday? Though my memory is clear, I was afraid to speak. You see, I didn't understand what was said. This could be it, the clue we were waiting for. Well, what did he say? It was the other man speaking, not Mr. Lighthouse. The shooter, then, Darian Crescent. What did he say? It's over. Press the switch. Now. Switch? The shooter said this to the victim, Mr. Lighthouse. I thought it quite strange myself afterward. It is a mystery. What could it possibly mean? Mr. Justice care to shed some light on this? I mean, sure, I'd be delighted. It's very, very vital. Maybe we could add that testimony. Maybe, Apollo. Yes. Now, when you say switch, do you mean this remote trigger switch? I'm gonna give it a press first. It was Detective Darian Crescent's voice. Yes, I'm sure of it. It's over. Press the switch. Why would he say that to Mr. Taus? Apollo, the murder weapon, the revolver was Mr. Taus's, right? Yeah, what of it? Well, maybe instead of press the switch, he really meant to say pull the trigger, because English isn't so good. Turning Kristen is a native speaker. Oh, alright. Sorry, I kind of forgot who was what. Press the switch. That's something that a killer usually says to their victim, isn't it? There's no one else in the room. I do not know. All I heard was Mr. Taus and the detective. I'm just gonna give this a shot and see what happens. Objection! Press the switch. There's only one key that unlocked the mystery of those words. Oh. If there's nothing at the scene that could be called a switch, save the lights. Sure, there wasn't a switch at the scene, but it so happens I have a switch right here. That certainly does look like a switch, doesn't it? The problem is, there's a sound not at the scene of the crime, but on the stage. The stage, where the concert was held, yes. This was found hidden there, on the stage. Are you claiming the voice Lamiroir heard was of someone committing another press to switch? It's a possibility. Objection! Oh, go ahead. I'd call that an impossibility. Why? It's hardly necessary for me to remind the court of the layout of the concert forum. The stage is quite far from Lamiroir's dressing room. Not to mention that the Cavaliers were in the middle of a concert on said stage. We aren't known for being a quiet band. You could shout all you wanted and not be heard. The detective's voice was loud, but certainly not a shout. So too, if her forehead's prize a possibility fallen short of being heard. Sorry, but you would have needed to shout. Excuse me, you heard what I said, or do you need me to shout it out for you? It would have been quite simple to be heard from the stage in that dressing room. Oh wait, you like evidence, don't you? How about this? You think this would be even much as someone on the stage from the dressing room? The headset. There you go. Rescuer Gavin, perhaps you're familiar with this. Why is that? What is it? That's some kind of newfangled phone they invented while I wasn't looking. This is a type of transmitter, a communications device. Communications device. From what I've heard that night, everyone on stage was wearing one of these. Isn't that right, Rescuer Gavin? Ah, yes, actually, they're for talking between band members. We all had one on. So you meant that if you're wearing one of these, talking from the backstage to the stage would be simple. True, but wait, those send an electronic signal. To avoid interference with the audio systems, their range is quite limited. Morris said it was about 30 feet, right? Look at this cross-section of the diagram concert form. Ah. Exactly, the walk from the stage to the backstage seems far, but the direct distance is less than 30 feet. No, that can't be. So when Lamiroir heard the shooter's voice, it could have been talking to someone on stage. Objection! Ah, you're claiming this is a switch in question. Why'd it have to be on the stage at the time? It could have been placed in a pocket and carried anywhere. Someone could have hid it on stage after the fact. Hey, he's got a point. How do we know where it was when we heard the voice? When the shooter said press the switch. Well, I guess we don't. An unfortunate situation. I'm afraid we know where the switch was. There's no little point debating it. I'm sure this was the way to go with this. What is a switch anyway? We don't even know what basic fact. Actually, we do. Wait a second. I do know what this switch is. If you follow that train of logic to its incredible conclusion, it ends up in proof that completely changes this case. What's up, Apollo? Apollo? We know about this switch, right? We know what it is. Yeah? Well, think of when it was used that day. Think of what happened. Well, Mr. Justice, you have no further information to share concerning the switch. Your Honor. Yes, Mr. Justice. We're remiss in not telling the court this before. I know what this switch is. Well, it seems the defense is put upon linking this switch to the case. Let's see your evidence of this link. What evidence do you have to explain this switch is? The igniter, right here? Rescuer Gavin, you remember this? Ah, that what? Is another one of those newfangled phones? This is an igniter. What phone looks like this? Igniter? You mean it's like a lighter? Yes, actually. You weren't saying the switch is remote. I am. this is a remote trigger for an igniter. What? Look, I'll show you. Oh, yo! Mr. Justice, you will see this is for burning down this courtroom. Sorry, there's a bit more fire than I expected. My orders had gotten fire. Prosecutor Gavin, let me repeat myself. The switch is a remote igniter trigger. Doesn't it suggest something to you? You're talking about what happened to me, aren't you? Ah, exactly. The night at the concert was an unusual burst of flame. When your guitar caught fire in the middle of your performance. Wasn't that part of the stage show, though? Buster Gavin was entirely unaware that things had been planned, and the car that burned was a valuable keepsake. That's right, you got it originated from Lamiroir. He said the sound was amazing before it burned, of course. Now it just kind of smokes. A bit of the guitar, the brighter it burns. That forehead. Yes? Don't tell me you're trying to tie these two things together. Those being the shooter's voice heard like more, and the guitar suddenly catching on fire. I am. It's really simple when you think about it. Mr. Taos and the shooter were at the crime scene. The shooter was wearing a headset. He ordered someone on stage to press the switch. It was pressed, and the guitar caught fire. Well, that just seemed to make sense. Although something about it is bugging me. Can't quite put my finger on it. Really, it seems pretty simple to me. Forehead, don't destroy what little respect I have for you. I was expecting something a little more sensible. I guess I was wrong. What's this all about, Buster Gavin? A simple story makes no sense. Think, that night my guitar caught fire, yes. The cause may have been this, indeed. However, the guitar caught fire during the second set. That's right, of course. The guitar caught fire during Lamiroir's song. Indeed, yet the shooting happened during the third set. The two are utterly unrelated. Yes, that must have been what was bugging me. The whole premise for this is faulty. See, the story makes no sense. Are you sure about that? What exactly do you mean, Mr. Justice? No, it's not the premise for my explanation of the switch that's at fault, but maybe it's our premise for the entire case so far. What premise is this, specifically? I'm glad you asked. I'm saying that maybe the killing didn't take place in the third act. What's this? Detective Emma Skye heard the shots and found the body. All this happened in the third act. Gunshots rang out, and according to this testimony, Manchu was in the dressing room at the time. Where are you going with this, Mr. Justice? Stay with me, Your Honor. He also told us this in his testimony, namely that the victim had already been shot. We all heard gunshots, but no one saw the shooting. But this is insane. This is where the shooting took place. The shooter was heard on his headset, telling someone to press the switch. The next moment, Prosecutor Gavin's guitar burst into flame. We know that a remote trigger igniter was inside the guitar. From all these facts, we can only draw one conclusion. The crime did not take place during the third act, but during the ballad performance, the second act. What? Order! 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 But that goes against the evidence. What does, Your Honor? This crime was carried out according to the lyrics of that song, yes? Hey, he's right, look. The bullet is supposed to come after the fire. You're thinking about it the wrong way. Huh? Look. What the shooter crafted the events of that day to follow the lyrics anyway. It's an awful lot of trouble to go through, with little merit for the person doing it. Well, I'm sure whoever was had some reason. Yes, they did. Reason that made it invitations to follow the lyrics. You're saying the order was reversed on purpose. Reversed, Prosecutor Gavin. If the criminal followed the lyrics strictly, then yes. The shooting wouldn't have had to come after the guitar burst into flame. Yet Forehead has raised another possibility. He's claiming that the bullet came not after, but just before the fire. Couldn't have put it better myself. We only meant to think that the shooting came after the guitar burst into flame. That was the criminal's objective. The crime followed the lyrics to a point, but that was the ruse. What else would the killer risk discovering and moving the body? It was a final touch to make us think he followed the lyrics the whole way. Order! 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 Don't explain this most unusual situation. It does. The killer changed the order of the events to create himself an alibi. In other words, the killer was someone who had to elevate for the third step, and not the second. I was hoping it wouldn't come to this, but sadly it has. Let me tell you why your little fairy tale makes no sense at all. Ooh. Rebuttal time, ooh boy. Alright, we will come back next time and see what he has to say about all this. So until next time.